Hello and welcome to episode 72 of my informative playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker. And this is the episode where we are going to visit Candlemere Isle, down here, Candlemere Tower as it is explained. And the information here doesn't tell us all that much, just that there's a collapsed ruin of a tower, barely sticking up from the island in the middle of Candlemere Lake. But on our way there, we're going to pay a visit to Shatter here. So let's just travel across to our village. In we go.
Adventures can wait.
Just as a recap, since the last video, I've done nothing but sell some additional junk. That's it. I travelled from our fight with Nazriel's apprentice just straight into the throne room, sold some stuff, and now here we are. So we are just going to come up and talk to Shatter and ask her what her issue is in her 1001 tall stories. So let's say hi. And so, what's happened this time? And she hands us a heavy piece of worn metal. And she wants to know the story of this piece of metal. She wants us to show it to the storyteller. And she says that it belonged to her esteemed ancestor Vu Balak, who fought against Kothogaz, the Dance of Disharmony, spawn of Rovagug. And yeah, and he claiming he was a cleric among the Vudrani who were fighting the spawn of Rovagug. And there's a lot of tall stories, but basically he was the hero of the entire story. And he, Vu Balak here, called forth the priests and they cast their magic. The ocean boiled and Kothogaz began to boil in it. And his chitin shell hardened, and eventually it cracked and crumbled. And yes. So, some tall tales. So what she wants us to do is take this spear fragment of Vu Balak to the storyteller in order for him to touch it and recount the story he sees when he does that. So we will see whether it will be the same story that Shatter has explained. Anyway, there we go. And we get this here spear fragment. Now, as I've seen if you've been watching these, the artisan videos involve lots of shuttling back and forth. So while I try and include them in other trips, there are benefits to doing them as soon as possible, and there are benefits to including them within other trips. But bear in mind, you're not going to be able to combine your artisan stuff entirely with other stuff. There will be shuttling back and forth. I think it's particularly prevalent in North Nalmach. Just once I figure out what I'm doing there, or I should say that I've tried to come up with some routes that don't mean much backtracking, but you need to come down here at some point, and it's a bit of a pain. Anyway, we're fatigued, but that isn't going to matter. And we can just check this before we go. We can do this whole part with fatigue. It's just decrease our chance to hit a little bit. So this is popped up exactly where I expected it to. This is a serious problem because it's got this little blue exclamation here. The attack from Bold Hilltop is expected in 2 weeks. Okay, so we need to be here in 2 weeks' time. We can't be, trapped doing a 14-day advisor rank up or anything. But fortunately, there's enough time just for us to complete Candlemere, travel back, rank up once, and then fix the ambush, the Bold Hilltop event. And so Candlemere here, I'll just talk a little bit about this. This is I suppose, an instructive area. It's just a single map, so it's not there's no dungeon here. It's just or no second level. You could sort of count the whole map as the dungeon. And we've got a boat here. Looks like it was used not long ago. Coals are already cold, but there is a fire here, so it looks like some people, probably the 3 people Willas said he sent here and disappeared, came on this little boat. We came on this little boat. Hard to imagine 6 people and a leopard in there. But yeah, we can just check what they've got, what they left behind. And we get this note wrapped in oiled leather. And this here refers to the paladin and the cleric. So that's a paladin of Irori and a cleric of Nethys. And this is our third party member, who I believe Willis alluded to as being a ranger. So they've come here, and they're obviously really quite excited about something. And he's talking about the strange things. If the curse is just a fable, and if Rizmil doesn't try any tricks, we'll come back here and I'll take this note away. And if you find this note, traveller, hop on your boat and go back where you came from. So, yeah, and also, apparently they saw someone else on the shore. But this was a preemptive final note. And since it's still here, there's something quite strange going on. So if we have a little look here. Party of adventurers recently came short. Let's follow them, says Lindsay.
Anything is possible.
Just going to inspire competence because there's a box we can see here.
Positive I found something.
It's got something quite interesting. This is Robe of Earth, which gives acid aura, so a bonus to acid spells. We don't really have any acid spells, but if we did, it would be quite fun. It also looks quite snazzy, so I might put it on for now. There we go. And I've just noticed that our cat is injured, so I'm just going to heal up there. So the biggest danger here is going to be willow wisps. They were alluded to when Willis was talking to us. And in order to counter willow wisps, we've got resist energy. We've also got protection from energy, but resist energy is slightly more useful because it doesn't, while it only protects against a fixed amount, it can't be used up by protecting enough electricity. I mean, I'm well equipped with stuff, but if we just come over here, and we're going to get out Extinguisher, this +6 weapon against willow wisps, looking pretty good. And we should get our first wisp amber. There we go. Now, there's a lot of war wisps here. They have pretty good AC, and but what we're seeing here is we're basically negating their lightning completely with our protection from our resist electricity. So we're happy, and they laugh funny, to take these down using a combination of Dirge of Doom and Valerie. So once she starts hitting, and holy bombs, that.
Clever ploy.
So you can see that Valerie is attacking here with absolutely no problem with an axe that she doesn't have weapon focus great axes, but this, I'm not sure if this is a bug here because it shows Extinguisher is getting +5 and +2, which adds up to 7. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just take that. But she's attacking against them flat-footed, so with a +6 weapon, so they're not going to survive very long. And I'm actually going to save my bombs for a little bit later. There we go. So, what we're going to do is the next little bit of counter is see Invisibility Communal, because they like to go invisible, and I'll just have him drink his mutagen. But that's about it for the Will-O-Wisps. You don't want to be going anywhere without resist electricity, and maybe a protection from electricity in the bank for some of the more hard-hitting ones. There is. There we go. A little bit tricky to click on. Wand of Crushing Despair. It's a nice spell. Cast level 7, 9 charges, DC 16. It's the problem with wands. Their DCs lag.
waiting.
So we've got lots of hastes as well.
Yes.
Just letting the ink dry.
Let's bring up Dirge of Doom. And here we go. So we can just set everyone to attack there. And you can see one war wisp, and one war... There's another type of wisp, the ancient willow wisp, that is... Where are you going? That is quite a bit tougher. But yeah, Valerie is going to deal our damage. I'm probably going to enlarge her as well, because AC is pretty irrelevant here. So that's another one down. There, so
No time for idling.
let's go ahead and enlarge Harem. And Valerie.
What's new?
What's new? And I will reduce Jubilust. There we go. So we come across our next... let me just kill these
You
first.
offend me. I'm writing you out of our story.
There we go. So we see here, we've got a fire pit, and we've got this. Somebody already tried to make a way through the dense thicket and gave up. It'll be hard to pass here. So we could try and wade through and climb the hill, but if it says it's going to be hard, it will be hard. So instead, we can see that there's a torn, damp page by the campsite. And this is a little bit more of the story. I've described the plant and the wound it caused as soon as I could. I hope in the future I'll be able to show these notes to some druid and learn more about the stuff. I should have known better than to go into a bush thicket. So, yes, they tried to push through here, and some strange plant wounded them. And he refers to the fact that the priest has constantly pushed us ahead. Supposedly he had a message from Nethys himself. And if you know anything about Nethys lore, and if you've watched any of my videos where I refer to Nethys, one of the defining facts about Nethys is that he never, or almost never, talks with his congregation. And his followers pride themselves on the fact that their god does not interfere with them, doesn't talk to them, just sort of lets them get on with it. So that should immediately stand out as something quite strange here. And, yeah. According to him, that is according to Bert, this Gunderson guy, as in Willis Gunderson, has got the wrong meaning of the word treasure. The paladin is convinced that the treasure, which is hidden in the tower, is some priceless magical knowledge left there by ancient dwellers of the island. So yes, strange knowledge, perhaps. Bert tried to heal my wound by himself. As a result, it's almost closed, but it still stings bitterly. I hope it's a passing side effect, because at least for now, I have no way back. So, attacked by some of these strange plants, you can see that this whole place is a mixture of like regular stuff and these weird giant plants and thorns. So, they're sort of pushing on in search of something. Anyway, let's come up here. You can see there is an old body and a chest. There, we can't get to that yet.
We'll do it the hard
And
way.
we've got wall wisp.
Will they ever learn?
Lindsay, up you come. And we should have... Not yet. Not yet. There. Ancient Will-O-Wisp. So we've seen these before, but not at this level, I don't think. So this is level 16, and their lightning actually does quite a lot of damage. You can see Valerie has eaten there. She took 30 points of damage, reduced to 10. Fortunately, that is going to be okay for us. So let's just concentrate on taking down various wisps. One down. 2 down. And 3 down. very simple. Even Harem is hitting. But yeah, this is the key here. AB 22 against flat-footed 21. So I've talked about this before, but this is just one of the advantages of having Shatter Defenses on Valerie. So we see here, there's someone dead who has this dagger. This is a Chaos Shard. So it's a really nice dagger if you were using daggers, if you had a knife master. But that chance to confuse on hit is really powerful. So yes, a dead body. So obviously there's something going on here. So we're just going to... I'm just going to cast up with protection from energy. Electricity, there. And I'll just buff the cat, because that will actually increase its chance of hitting.
Is there trouble? Friendship lasts forever.
We'll go haste.
And Lindsay was
Dirge of
called.
Doom. There we go. And he'll come up here.
A fatal mistake.
So yes, 4 of them, including 1 ancient. So we'll take down the ancient first, because they're the ones with the most chance of actually busting through our protections.
Do not falter.
Oops.
Any last wishes?
The rest of them are far less capable of busting through our electrical protection, because they're only doing 3d6 damage, which is not particularly likely to cross over the 20 point threshold.
Your life ebbs low.
There we go.
Away, you rascal!
More like it.
And there we go.
Resting would be
And we
nice.
saw this body down here. We're going to go find it. And there's another
Stand
ancient,
down.
which I forgot about.
Fine use of my talents.
Have we now unlocked some information about them? Yes, so these ancient willow wisps, level 16, 240 XP, which is great. Quite a lot of HP, considering their AC is quite high. And of course, they've got full spell immunity, except for magic missile, which we could have been firing off at them. But, you know, we don't have that many magic missiles. And trying to do 136 HP of magic missile damage is a bit of a pain when you can just get Valerie with Extinguisher to clobber them. There we go. Dead.
We should gather off.
Anything.
And we get Noble Warhammer, I believe. Yeah, Noble Warhammer. +3 Warhammer, so one of our first +3 melee weapons. We have a dart, but Warhammer, that's really quite good. And here we see somebody recently dead with a dirty travel log. Only the last page is readable. And this is their third companion, the Ranger. Left me behind. I beg them to say, Rismil doesn't care. Nethus has turned the dark face to him, so the cleric is lost to us. Brint promised to come back, but it's been so long since he left that he hasn't shown up yet. I just hope the paladin survived and managed to save himself at least. These are the last words of my log. The wound is festering. Some yellow stuff oozes from it. I couldn't climb the rock to reach the ruins. Guess now I won't even be able to stand. My skin burns and I can barely breathe. I'll die on this cursed island, and no one will ever know where I've spent my last hours. Left alone, but I'm not alone. The damned lights in the underbush, they're closer now. I'm not delirious. They came for my death. So, this looks like the first... Looks like they hadn't been attacked by wisps, basically, until these wisps came to feed off her fear as she died. Very tragic. As the others pushed onwards, so they a sort of, how would you say it, like Moby Dick style obsession, marching forward. I'm just gonna re-up
Always ready.
protection from energy, because just up here there are 2 ancient wisps, and that's about the hardest
The
this
world is full of wonder.
gets. So I want to make sure I don't get
Anything is possible.
double lightninged for 40 damage. So here we go. 2 ancients.
This will hurt.
We'll just see about clobbering them. And we're hasty, so we get a few more attacks in. There we go. 1 and 2. Right, so not dangerous if you're prepared and if you know what you're doing and if you've got your attack bonus high. Of course, if you didn't have Shatter Defenses on Valerie, if you'd spec'd her for armor class, and then you'd really struggle to hit these things because you know my AB for Valerie is 17 flat before other stuff. So before sort of like outflank comes on. So if you think you're rolling against 31 and say it wasn't that high, say you hadn't put your points into strength, you put them into dex, and you didn't have Extinguisher, you'd soon start to find that you're spending a lot of time swinging against these wisps and missing. So a good reason to make her a bit more offensive, in my opinion, if you're going to have Valerie in your front line. I always prefer to have her hitting things.
Adventures are exciting.
They are indeed.
We will prevail.
Next back. Interestingly, I've got see invisibility, and it doesn't allow you to see them before they appear first time. But it does. They do have an invisibility effect where they fade in and out, which can make them even harder to see. Now, see invisibility prevents that, which is great in my opinion, because you can see that we're just sort of ripping through them.
Stay behind me.
And I believe they're meant to. I don't know whether they're actually meant to have teleported in, or if it's one of the cases that game-wise they spawn in, meaning you can't see invisible them, even when perhaps you would want to. Like you should be able to see them beforehand. Is what I'm getting at. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, and it's programmed in this way. It means you can't, or if the idea is they're actually popping up, and so that you wouldn't be able to see them beforehand. This is that was an ancient there. But yeah, see invisibility communal makes this area. That's the other pillar of our defenses that makes this area much simpler. First time I came in here, we were just swinging for ages to try and. This is back when I first started playing this game. I couldn't understand how to hit these really tough willow wisps, but that was before I learned all about Shatter Defenses and making Valerie into someone who could hit. We get this. This is a nice tower shield. Sorry, nice large shield. Ancestral Dwarven shield. It gives a damage reduction of flat base 2. That's really nice for harem, I suppose. Yeah, but the advantage to keeping what he's got on at the moment, this one, is that this gives a little bit more of a resistance bonus. But when we get a cloak +2, we can swap them out. The other option is we can give this to a melee here, and so when she's transformed into the wolf, she'll be getting free damage reduction. So yeah, 6.5 dozen at the moment, but let's just put it on like that. There. And we can practice using a dart.
This is my time.
So we've reached the edge here. There's nothing else. What else was in here? That's a composite bow. Short bow. We'll take that. We've still got 3 minutes of our resist energy, so we can uncover a little bit more of the mystery. Just up here, we find a dead body, and it's a dead warrior in full armor with Aurora's holy symbol on the ground. So that, and he's been stabbed in the back. So that's our paladin there. Knife to the back. How unpleasant. I don't think there's anything up here.
The dangers don't frighten me.
And you can see the tower starting to come into appearance. There's some strange script on here,
What troubles you?
and we can do a knowledge arcana check,
Pause, please.
and we get this ancient inscription on here, which refers to on the one hand, it's a sort of Lovecraft Easter egg, but on the other hand, yeah, rather oddly or perhaps understandably, Pathfinder lore basically shoved a load of Lovecraft into it, so it's got a sort of like far realms filled with Lovecraftian outer gods. So you know, it kind of filled with these sort of things that they're mashups of, you know, lots and lots of different stories, different worlds, and one of which is that Lovecraftian stuff that was sort of shoved wholesale into this. This is a full plate +2 here, which is a nice little upgrade for Valerie. There we go. Her armor class has gone up by 1. Wow. And it just means that we can give the full plate over to Harem. He loses his pointy shoulders. And now, it's just a matter of finishing the map. I'm just going to heal up fully.
Awaits us.
We took almost no damage.
I am never wrong.
And we'll just recast resist energy.
The end draws near.
The end draws near. And protection from energy. But the main thing here is actually the enemy that we're going to fight uses magic missiles. So
Yes?
we're going to distribute some shields to our more vulnerable members. Okay.
My skills are absolute.
There we go. Okay. So we're going to talk to Rizmel here, who is our cleric of Irori. You can kind of see he's wearing a mask, a sort of two-faced mask. Just a nice little bit of detail there. At least I think that's what's going on. We can
I wrote it like I saw it.
spy competence and just have a little look at this.
Applause, please.
So, closed portal in the center of the room. It seems it was used not long ago. So something strange is going on. So let's have a chat.
No time for idling.
Any brilliant ideas?
It's
Bring
time
up
to act.
Dirge of Doom. So, a man stands in the center of the half-ruined hall. He's motionless, his eyes are closed, his head is tilted, as if he was listening to something inaudible. He's clad in tattered black and white robes. So you can see, there's the mask there. They look uniformly grey due to the mud. And yes, he's extremely belligerent. Anyway, who are you? Who am I? Oh, soon the whole world will know my name. The man straightens and raises his hands to the sky. Two-faced Rizmel, keeper of the gates, harbinger of Nethys. I have many names, and so you shall pay fealty to them all. The all-seeing eye has brought me here to the sanctuary of magic. Others came, but they did not survive the trials. I am the only one who hears the words of Nethys and can open the gates for him. Then the all-seeing eye will reward his chosen. I will become a lord in his new era. And, yeah, it sounds mad if you know anything about Nethys, but we can try and persuade him otherwise. So first of all, an enchanted sanctuary, gates to other worlds. They're here, in these ruins. Silence, Rizmel roars. You're too blind to see what surrounds you. Vibrant, bright, glorious to those who have embraced the arcane and mastered its power. Rizmel's voice drops and his eyes become unfocused. Nethys himself led me here. His voice rings in my head, calling from the portal. So there. He is hearing a voice through this portal. All these writings, all these wandering lights, only the blind cannot see the coming of the all-seeing eye. And we've encountered these wandering lights, and they are very clearly chaotic evil willow wisps, rather than anything to do with Nethus. But go on. And yes, we get a rare irony option. It's put in tags so you can tell that this is a bit of joking here. So let's pick that one, and he hates it. Anyway, let's assume Nethus waits beyond the portal. But what is the portal exactly? And yes, he's kind of referring to the fact that this tower bears the marks of the arcane, and we've seen reference to elder gods painted on it. So not so much arcane as, the far worlds, the outer abyss. And yes, believers knew a portal lay here, so they left signs heralding the arrival of Nethus. And the stuff we read didn't seem like it was heralding the arrival of Nethus. It seemed like it was heralding the arrival of something very nasty. Anyway, some say this place is cursed, and yeah, only a fool would think that. What do the writings say? He doesn't know. As do we not, but my meta-knowledge does. Anyway, will-o-wisps roam the island. How did you get past them? And basically, because he wasn't afraid. I think that's quite cool, actually. Like, he's been driven forward, and he's come up with a reason for why they didn't attack, which is that he's, completely fearless because of his apparent communing with Nethus. Anyway, enough. Where are the others? You're talking about those who came to the island with me. They're gone. One of them gave up halfway here. I know nothing of his fate. That was the ranger who was poisoned by a plant. And the second, the miserable creature. He kept talking. How knowledge must belong to everyone. Wisdom should be shared. Telling others about this place. He kept talking and talking. So I silenced him. Yeah, so if essentially he murdered him. Yes. We don't need this one. There's no treasure here. Anyway, we can try and reason with him. Rismal, no matter if the island is cursed or not, you're not in your right mind. You don't know what you're doing. And, yeah. Nethus himself guides me. How dare you judge a chosen of the all-seeing eye? And, it's nice to succeed here. Not too difficult, considering Harem has got plus 20 religion. And, this is something I've filled in, but yeah, Nethus, the mad deity of magic and wizardry, never speaks directly to his followers. His followers take pride in this, for their god is much too great to lower himself to such base forms of expression. Whoever or whatever Rismel hears beyond the portal is not Nethus. So, we can confront him with this. Listen to yourself. Nethus speaks to me. Nethus has chosen me. You know your god does not waste time on mortals. How long are you going to lie to yourself, claiming the voice in your head belongs to Nethus? And that actually hits quite hard. But not hard enough. So, we can mention the corpse. This is, I found a corpse on the island. You know the one I speak of. He perished in suffering, terrified, cursing those who left him to die. What did he do to earn your cruelty? And, yeah, we should have come back for you. And that's enough to confront him. So if you find both the paladin and the ranger's corpse, that will convince him without needing to pass that law religion check. But since we passed it, we had 3 options out of which we only needed 2. He's come to his senses, though. What a nightmare. What nightmare is this? What a nightmare is this? Right, this can't be. Misled by illusions. Darkness took my mind. So we've brought him back to reality with some stark facts. And we get experience for that. So, but the voice that urged me to open the gates, it still sounds inside my head. But it's not Nethus. No, it's not him. It's something else. I would never be able to repay you for your help, stranger, but I must ask you about one more thing. Will you help me confront the creature? And yes, 100%, we are going to fight this creature. Anyway, no need to prepare. We're all ready. We have to destroy it before it finds some new prey. When we're done with this, I'll stay here and make sure no living soul ever falls victim to this island. Right.
A simple smile goes. I don't tolerate.
So,
threats.
what have we got? We have got Duke Dazzleflare, a named Will-O-Wisp. Still only a level 16 aberration, so it shouldn't be much harder than an ancient Will-O-Wisp. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to see about attacking, and we will throw in some magic missiles here. Lindsay's got Dirge of Doom up. Tubelost, Holy Bombs because it's chaotic evil.
Ploy.
Harem, it's got spell immunity, so everyone else can just hit. And we can try our darts. Yes, that is the magic missiles that I was worried about. And he's gone for Harem. But yes, there. when you're hitting on 2s, no fight is all that hard. Hey, I thought you were gonna fire some magic missiles. Yeah, Valerie's gonna kill it in just a second. Before we even get the missiles out. There we go. That is the joy of hitting lots with a big axe. Before Rizmel even managed to summon his dire wolves. And we get a piece of the Cypress Queen's set. So that's the Cypress Queen's flute. We sort by type. We now see we've got the flower, the flute, the goblet, and the quill. There's only one more bit that we'll get later on. And that's it. Chat to Rizmel. Are you sure you want to stay here? And he is. Now that your mind's clearer, tell me about this place. This is a place where two worlds connect. The border is razor thin, so it gave birth to a portal. A portal's the first world, it seems. When I was performing a ritual here, I noticed it's easy to open it. Someone must have used this portal before, and not too long ago. So, we don't learn anything more about this. We saw it when we examined the portal, but there's something strange going on here, more than just what was going on with Rizmel. Like someone was here and used this to step between the first world and Galarian. Anyway, can you seal it permanently? It's not possible. I will simply become the guardian. Locals claim the island is cursed. And yes, not really. And the man who sent me to this island claimed there were treasures here. And he was wrong. Thank you. And that's it. We'll leave him to it. It's a pretty good resolution, not the best, but as in not the perfect resolution. It's about the best you can do in the game. Just gonna grab these. I don't know if I got these before. I must have. Right. So that's it for Candlemere Tower. The other option is we can just drop down here to pick up like 90 more XP, and every little bit helps with experience. So let's descend here and wade through the bushes.
That was easy.
There we go, for 90 XP. So yes, I'm going to stop the video now. That's Candlemere Tower done in the most easy and efficient way, using a couple of good spells and an axe provided to us by Varsk, the Wild Fist. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.